Well, as you may know, I've had sawmilling in my blood for a long time. I built one when I was 22, and then, 4 or 5 years ago, I found some nice white oak logs, cut them down, had them milled, had them dried, and so I've got, I don't know, maybe 2,000 board feet of clear vertical grain white oak in my shop, just waiting for a couple of projects that I have in mind. But when I got a look at this old boy, I just couldn't say no. In logging parlance around here, this is a pumpkin. 48 inches on the stump, 42 inches, 14 feet up, right in a backyard. Looked like it was doable. And so, sit back and enjoy the show. These guys do a good job of putting it on the ground. Chris Newman and I had a good time helping, and it was a real trick getting this thing loaded up into my dump trailer. I hope you like it.
That's a mess. I thought so when it went in there.
Yeah, started pulling out crappy looking sawdust.
Yeah, I was wondering about that dark in there, but yeah.
That's good. We're not hurt. That's good. That'll fly like a bird. Beautiful. Just beautiful. This is my friend Chris Newman. He has Patriot stump grinding, and he's one of the hardest working men that I've ever met. And if you live in this part of the country and need a stump ground and call anybody else, you're making a mistake. The tree's on the ground. It's been there for a couple days. The mess is pretty well cleaned up, but now I'm going back over to try to slide that 9,000-pound chunk of white oak up into the back of this, what is soon going to seem like a very small dump trailer. And here's a look at the stuff I've been mobilizing this morning. My friend Steve Atkins is going to be there. He's got a lot of good logging experience and bridge repair and removal experience. So I think between the two of us, ably assisted by Secret Weapon Dave, we have at least a fighting chance of sliding that monstrosity up into this trailer. We will see how that goes. Well, we're on the job. This is my friend Steve Atkins. He's camera shy. He's allergic. You can see his eyes start watering right now. But he's top hand, okay? He knows what's going on. This guy cut timber on Mount St. Helens for what, a year and a half after the explosion or something?
Oh, not quite that much.
But long enough to have done it.
Yeah.
Okay. And he likes rigging and logging. He was a cutter for a long time, and so that's some of the stuff I brought. Here's some of the stuff he brought. Look at those beautiful tongs. Look at that. There's a shot for scale. We have duplication of effort on our hardware, but that's all right because here's what we're up against. Well, we're going to count this as a first step towards maybe a possible win because we haven't broken anything, nobody's gotten hurt, and we actually have the end of the log resting on the end of the trailer. The end of this log is now about 24 inches off the ground. And for something that weighs 9,000 pounds, and we're doing it with the Egyptian method plus the hydraulics of an excavator, I think we're winning. What we're going to do now is try to roll this gently back so this flat side of this egg-shaped end is on the bottom of the trailer, and then we will try to pull it up the hill. No small feat. Steve Atkins, if I didn't already mention it, is a really good timber cutter. And timber cutters are known for their absolute inability to take direction or receive instruction. Is that right, Steve?
Get out of my way.
Oh, okay, here we go. So what's going to happen next, Secret Weapon Dave is going to lower the trailer. We think we're past the midpoint, and we may actually get this thing pushing my truck downhill into the house. So go ahead, David.
Here it goes.
We've got a lot of friction to overcome dragging on this tail end. Maybe we're all right. So I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I had to ask Steve to cut a couple inches off of here. And by the way, how sweet it is when the Makita cordless has to finish the job that the still just couldn't quite do. I mean, how sweet is that? But with this end opened up, and before we put the anchor seal on here to control the water loss out of the end, I'm going to try to count the age on this thing. And I'm guessing 200 years. But we'll know more here in just a second. Well, I can tell you right now, I missed my guess. It's 100 years to right here. We're closer to 300 than 200. But it looks like the last few years have had more water. We'll see where we get after the first 100. 221 years to the beginning of the cambium layer. I think that's what that's called, the sapwood. Or maybe it's just cambium right there, I don't know. But the heartwood is 221 years in diameter. Let's see how we do out across here. Near as I can tell, this thing's 279 years old. Through rain and shine, season after season, it grew, and then it reached full stature, and then it began to deteriorate. And root rot was setting in, limbs were beginning to drop off. It was beginning to be a real serious threat to life and limb and property, and neighborhoods sort of getting along with each other, so it had to go. But just because it's going does not mean it's gone or forgotten. We're going to turn it into something beautiful, if I have enough time. Thanks for watching Essential Craftsman, and keep up the good work.